Good afternoon, guys. This is Abrahm with BSA Bushcraft. I apologize for not posting a video in a while, but I've had quite a few projects, including my Eagle Scout that I'm working on. But I wanted to bring a short video to you guys on an axe that I recently hafted. This was the first one that I hafted, or the first head, but it took me 3 handles, third time's the charm. But the main problem was I was getting the handles from hardware stores, and when you pay $8 for a handle, the problem is you're getting for what you're paid for. You're getting what you paid for. So the grain orientation was not very well. There was varnish on it or shellac, and you had to scrape that off, because anybody that knows anything about handles, that's going to give you blisters if you're working for an extended amount of time with sweaty hands. What they do that for when they're shipping them, they don't want them to get damaged, so they put shellac or some kind of protectant over it, and it helps it from chipping, getting scraped up, etc. But the problem I had was with the eye, the first couple I trimmed down way too narrow, and by the time I got it down there, the first one, it wasn't tight enough, and then the second one, I didn't get the handle right. The handle sized right to this eye of this axe, and there's too much of a gap, and over time that's just going to wiggle loose. But this one turned out very well. I've been using it for an extended amount of time, probably a couple weeks, closer to a month, and my cousin just used it, and we swung as hard as we could, and it did not get damaged at all, and I'm very happy with this handle. I got it from househandles.com. It's a company in Missouri. A little pricey because of the shipping, but overall I think it works very well. It didn't come with any varnish, which I got tired of removing the varnish. Just put some boiled linseed oil on it and it's ready to go. So we just struggled. This is a piece of red maple that was stuck up in the Y of a tree. And we had to pull it down. My cousin actually jerked it out of the tree. We're going to chop this up into some probably 4-foot sections, buck it up into 4-foot sections, just to show you guys how this works. And I know probably quite a few people is going to ask what kind of head this is. I'm not really sure. It has no name on it, but one of my buddies, Clayton Steele, he told me that on the inside of this head, if it's got ridges inside of it, it's a true temper, I believe is what he said. So it's some sort of true temper. I think it was Wild Flash or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but I can't remember it's got ridges in it either. So if you guys stick with me, me and my cousin are going to chop this up, buck it up, and do probably 4-foot sections, and just further test this axe that I just finished hafting. Buck this up into 4-foot sections or somewhere around there. I want to discuss a little bit of safety, and this video is not geared towards safety with an axe, but anytime you're using it, I want people to understand the safety with it. A shorter axe with a shorter handle is going to be a lot more dangerous than one with a longer handle. The reason is, if I'm up here, say I'm standing up here, and if I swing and miss my target, it's going to hit the ground before it hits my knee or anything, because it's got that extension to the handle. But if it's a shorter handle, what's going to happen is I go and I swing, and it doesn't have that length to it to hit the ground before my shin. So if I miss it, it's got a shorter handle, let's say it's like this, and I miss, it's not going to hit that ground before it hits my shin. But if this longer handle, I miss, it's going to hit the ground way before it gets anywhere near my shins, my knees, my legs, my foot, anything. So you want to be very careful with that. I can chop like this on the ground, and I've got even more safety, because it's definitely not going to go into me, but I'm going to stand up. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart, what you want. And I've heard that when you're bucking up a piece, you want your notch that you're bucking to be twice the diameter of, or twice as wide as the diameter of the tree you're working with. So this is probably, I'd say 4 inches, wouldn't you say? 3-4 inches is what the diameter of this piece of red maple is. So I'm going to try to make it about 6 inches wide, the notch. So I'm going to start it right here. And you got to go in at an angle like that, and then just come back. So just like this. And it's taking decent chunks out of there. I'm going to take a break for a second to show you guys what it's producing right now. It's chunking out chips this large, and that's what you want. That's when you know it's pretty sharp. And that's what you want. So once you get, I'd say probably halfway through here, or a little bit, 3/4 of the way through it, you want to flip it over and chop on the back side of it. And that's going to break it apart. Because if I'm chopping through like this, most likely it's going to go through and hit the ground, and I don't want to damage this. Get about 3/4 of the way through here. What I'm going to do is flip it over, and this is about a 4-foot section. And why I would be doing this is probably for a long fire if it's really cold and it's starting to get cold at night. So that's what I would use this for. Just flip it completely over like that. Get my axe. I'm going to sit on the ground when I do this and just aim exactly where that notch is, but on the back side of it. You don't have to swing harder to do this. I'm going to actually set this aside here and scooch it up a tad so I don't hit my gear behind me. That right there almost went through. That actually did. And if you see you're almost through it, you can just break it. That's what I would do. Like that. So that you don't overswing it, and once it goes through it, hit the rocks. Because the last thing you want to do is repair your axe, sharp tool, whatever in the field. So that's pretty much how you would buck up a section like this, and I just wanted to pretty much showcase my axe that I just hafted. And again, this is some red maple that we just bucked up. This video up, I just wanted to show you guys what the hang looks like. That's what I did, and I got a lot of help from a guy on Facebook, one of my friends. His name's Tom Hinderman, and I really do appreciate the help he gave me. So as you see, there is no spacing or gap. There's just a tad bit right there, maybe a centimeter if that, but that's no harm because I've been swinging this really hard and it's not loosening up at all. I put a wooden wedge in. I did use some premium wood glue. Don't use epoxy, but I used wood glue. Pounded it in as far as I could, and then put 2 metal step wedges running parallel with that wooden wedge. Usually what you would do is put 1 wooden step wedge, usually running perpendicular to that wooden wedge because it's compressing this way and the wooden wedge is pushing this way. But Tom recommended to do it this way, and so far it's doing really good, and what that's doing is adding a lot of compression right on that wooden wedge, so it's not going to loosen up. And again, I've been using this for about a month. A lot of hard use, and it's holding up very well. The edge holds up very well. I just have to take a very fine stone to it or a sharpening puck and then take a leather strop to it, and it holds an edge very well. I definitely recommend you guys to go out, find yourself a vintage axe head, buy a cheap handle, and practice hanging them. I do appreciate you guys watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button right below my channel. Check out my other videos. Give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, email me at bsabushcraft@gmail.com or leave a comment below. Check out my Facebook page. And this has been Abrahm with BSA Bushcraft. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.